Does it need to be monitored?
It shouldn't once it goes. But let me see how much, if we have
You're
enough.
right in front of two of my favorite people.
I don't want to block. This should be okay. Is that everyone here? I think we got the whole stage, right? I think it's everything. It's okay.
So I'll sit right there and holler if you need me to do anything. I'm the front. We'll definitely talk tomorrow. We get to Dallas last night. He's like, oh.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? The microphone isn't working right now. My name is Juan Tagara. I'm assistant principal here at Arlington High School. So welcome all of you to tonight's Symphonette Orchestra with Miss Danielle Steer. Just want to remind everybody that once the person you're here to see, that your child is finished performing, to please exit so we can have the next group of families come in because we have a limit. We are really, really happy you're here. We're really, really happy and very proud of all of the work that you all have put into tonight. So without further ado, Ms. Danielle Steer, thank you very much.
Good evening. We are so happy to be here. Live music is so special, and I asked the students right before we began that this is the first concert, and I think we added it up 14 months. So it's really special that we're here tonight. And I would just like to say before we even begin, what a strange year it's been, and I'm so proud of the work that the students on the stage have done. Can we start off by giving them a round of applause? It is definitely not easy or normal to do orchestra online, but they have really made the best of it. And so these students were all online, and then of course we have some online joining us tonight. So we are just about ready to play for you. Please enjoy our first piece, Fields of Gold by Sting. Before we play our last piece as just Symphonette, because the chamber orchestra will be joining us for our third selection, you might have noticed just now that the students on stage, their bows were going in all different directions, and that was on purpose. They were all playing two parts during that. So something really great that's come out of COVID is that out of this time in general, is that the students all now learn the melody. And previously, that was not something that we would typically do in an orchestra setting. But because all of them learned the melody, what you just saw was half of them started on the melody part, and then half of them started on the orchestra part, and then halfway through, they flipped and they switched either to the melody or the orchestra part. And the way that we did it, we were alternating student by student, so nobody was surrounded by another student who was playing the same part as them. So something that we've really learned this year is there's such strong rhythmic independence. And you're gonna hear that in this next piece too. This next one is Westward Journey and Jubilee. It has a lot of independent voices. Please enjoy. Okay, please bear with us for one moment. We just have to add a bunch of ninth graders to the stage. And we will be right back with Jurassic Park.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the concert at Arlington High School. Woo! It's about time. We're really excited to be performing for you tonight. I'm Miss Hammond. That's Miss Steer, as you know. And Mr. Hammond was playing, and he'll be back out to play again. And Mr. Gillen, are you back there? He's on drum set. I personally wanted to say that it's been a crazy year, but moreover, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure to be working with these four on a daily basis with the orchestras. We started off the beginning of the year with oh my God, what are we going to do? Teaching orchestra online. And we found a way. We found a way, and our goal was to make it as enjoyable for the students as it could possibly be, so that they had a time during their day when they could enjoy music. Because sitting in front of a computer all day, we all know, is brain draining. And we wanted to help them continue to grow on their instruments, but also enjoy the process. So we did start off all together at the beginning of the year, all freshmen. So we really wanted to do a piece that reflected that. And then Chamber will take the stage and perform. So again, just a real honor to team teach with Ms. Deere, Mr. Hammond, and Mr. Gillen all year long. I really feel like I couldn't have done it without them, literally. It was so stressful, but it really made it so easy. They say it takes a village, it takes four of us. So it really, give it down to all my colleagues, just shout it out. It made it actually fun. So hopefully we were able to bring that to our teaching with the kids. We're going to play a fun tune, Jurassic Park. And we also have some members of Philharmonia, 10th and 12th graders. They are joining us to fill out and play the orchestra part. Can you guys stand up? Philharmonia, are you going to go back there? Yes. Woo! They came in a couple hours early just to do this with us. They believe in the program. They are part of the program, and so we're really happy to have them come and pay it forward. So without further ado, I'm going to hop down. Sorry, a little dramatic. I actually wanted to say that before we played it, I'm going to tell you now, that we rehearsed in this formation all together, never. So that was their first time, and I'm really proud of how that all went.
Okay, so thank you to Symphonette. We're gonna ask that Symphonette players and families, you guys can leave the auditorium now, and then chamber orchestra, we're gonna get ready. You're gonna move up onto the stage, okay? Symphonette, you can come out this way. Woo, great job, Symphonette.
So you guys can warm up. We're still 5 minutes away. I want to make sure everybody has enough time to get here. So they're going to just sort of tune and warm up. Go ahead, play. Like a professional orchestra. Just go ahead and warm up. And we'll tell you to stop. Go ahead. I'm out of breath. And that was so short. The next piece is much longer. I'm really out of breath. It's the mask. I'm going to blame it on the mask, not the fact that I'm out of shape. So this is chamber orchestra, one of the ninth grade orchestras, and we are a string-only orchestra. However, in the COVID time, my string colleagues and band colleagues discovered the beauty of flex arrangements. And you might hear more about them as we go on. Each one of our orchestras is playing, from here on, each orchestra is going to be playing something from a flex arrangement. So what that means is, because in the first beginning of COVID time when we started coming in hybrid, there was the gray cohort, the maroon cohort, turquoise, etc. And it was like, okay, that doesn't really account for which instruments are going to come in. I mean, we like to have it be, that was the way they made their decisions, but of course it had to be for other reasons. So on any given day, I would have like 2 cellos and a bass. Do you guys remember that at the beginning? That would be my orchestra rehearsal. 2 cellos and a bass, everybody else would be online. And then, other days it would be, 2 violins, viola, just, depends. So these flex arrangements do things in parts. So instead of like violin 1 specific, violin 2, like the last piece was very specific for every instrument. So in this particular case, it's written for, first of all, it's written for strings and band, possibly, right? But we are only a string orchestra, so luckily they wrote it out in flex arrangement, meaning part 1 I could give to some of the violins, part 2 to other violins, part 3 went to the violas. If I did have band members, they would have gone also to French horn, maybe a bassoon, and part 4 went to cello, part 5 goes to bass. And if I had a band with me, they would be corresponding. Trombone would be 4, flute would be 1. But it allows for more flexibility in rehearsing and performing. And these arrangers are really spectacular. I think all of their arrangements are just killer, and it's been really exciting to work on. This next piece, Jupiter from the Planets by Gustav Holst, is one of my favorite pieces to perform my own self. I love playing this piece. This is an arrangement, so it's slightly different from the original. But I think the kids have really enjoyed getting to work on this. This has been our long project, our long-term project in a way. The first week we just played was 1 page long. This is 4, am I right? Yeah, 4 pages, and the difficulty level is right up there. So we've taken our time, we worked really hard on it. It's brought us to, I would say, a new level of playing. And they also, my remote-only students, a bunch of them are here tonight as well, which is so awesome. And they came in on Monday. So my in-person and remote students came in Monday after school. We did an extra rehearsal. So there's just a lot of commitment and love for music, and I'm really excited to perform Jupiter for you. Enjoy.
Oh, there's some percussion players in the back. I apologize. So, like I said, it was originally composed for band members, and having a bit of percussion really sort of makes this piece. So, as you see, Mr. Gill and Mr. Hammond are back there, and then we have members from Symphonia and Symphony Orchestra, percussion members. We've got Andy and Taylor right back there. So please give them a further proving that this is a village. We're just all in it to help and make everything sound and as good as possible and have a great time doing it.
How about another round of applause for Chamber Orchestra and Miss Elizabeth Hammond? Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Mr. Gillen. I'm the music department coordinator here, and I'm also one of the band and orchestra directors. And it is so great to say welcome to one of our spring concerts. We had a concert last night in Freedom Park with our bands. We were supposed to be there tonight, and maybe it's a good thing that we're not. Because between the heat and the rain that's probably going to come, the genius that is our new principal, Mr. John Orca, and I know he's going to blush when I say that, but we went to him today to say we're going to activate the rain date, and we're going to go tomorrow night, knowing that people were going to be missing because they're leaving for Memorial Day weekend, and you know, rain dates are never a good thing because always an issue. He goes, well, that's great and everything, but you know, since the capacities are raised and we can monitor it, why don't you go here? And we're like, ding, it was brilliant. So thank you, Mr. Orcutt, for your wonderful idea, and it's air conditioned. Just saying. So again, thank you so much for being here and welcome. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things while we're changing over. So what we're asking folks to do is once your students group is done, we're asking that we do the best we can to allow room for the next group to come in. So if your student was in chamber orchestra We're asking that we allow time now for the Symphonia parents to come in and we keep their display. I don't think we're at 250 just yet, so I think we're okay. But we need to keep that in mind. We need to kind of keep rotating the audience in all night long, just so we can make sure we're socially distanced and that we're being as safe and responsible as we can. So we appreciate you help us out with that. I also want to make a couple of mentions since we've been talking about how it takes a village. You know, this year, every adjective you could use to describe this year: challenging, unprecedented. I'm sick of all of them. But I think the one thing that we've learned is that we rely on each other so much, and maybe we took it for granted. And I truly don't believe that as a department we wouldn't have been able to get through this without working together like this. The team teaching that has gone on, especially between Mr. Hammond, Ms. Hanning, and Ms. Steer, has just been extraordinary. Mr. Teach and Mr. Jukevich every day, teaming up to make sure the online kids have a focus and the in-person kids have a focus. And like she sort of described, we would go from days, one of the groups that I teach, I would go from a day where I would have maybe 5 kids that would range from flute, tuba, oboe, and a drummer. Then the next day I'd have like 6 trumpets and a flute player. And it would just, every day was a unique challenge, and we literally didn't know what was going to happen next. And once we knew there was going to be some consistency, and then we were going to see more students. And here's an interesting little bit of an anecdote. So once the 4th quarter started, I think approximately 60 to 70% of the student body was in the building every day. The music ensemble classes, 80 to 90% every day. That shows you that these kids wanted to be here, wanted to make live music. We all told them, push comes to shove, some way we're going to have live music back here somehow. So we're absolutely thrilled to be able to do this, and we would not have been able to do it without a few key factors. Our district administration has been extraordinary. Dr. Larry Copley, John Orcutt, and all the administrators, every time we would go to them with a challenge and with a question, it was supportive. They were proactively helping us make decisions. It's just been extraordinary. And our Board of Education. So I'd like to offer up, I know we're in the middle of transitioning here, but I'd like to offer up a huge round of applause and thanks to our administration. Just being absolutely incredible. So what you're going to see now are our full orchestras. So the 2 9th grade orchestras are string orchestras, and sometimes we help out with playing percussion and things of that nature. So now we're going to be moving into our full symphonic orchestras. We're very fortunate to have 3 of those here. We have Symphony Orchestra, which you're going to see next, and then Symphony, and then Philharmonia. And you're going to now see band students, wind and percussion students integrated with the strings. That's a full symphonic orchestra. The band students have orchestra every other day, mostly opposite their lunch period. So on AC days, they're rehearsing with the orchestra, and on PT days, they're going to lunch or lab or PE or something. And the street kids obviously have orchestra every day, but the band kids, in addition to their band class, are also participating in orchestra. My job as one of the orchestra co-directors is to specialty work with those students, work with the wind players, work with the percussionists, and help them along with their music while the string players are learning their situation. And when we put it together, we're fortunate enough to be able to do what we're doing here. So the 2 pieces you're going to hear from the Symphony Orchestra are 2 very unique and different pieces that we've sort of been working on, I don't want to say all year, but at least the past few months. And once we knew we were going to be all in, pretty much, we decided these are the 2 pieces that will work for this group. They show a wide variety of style, they show a wide variety of music, and we've really enjoyed working on it with the students. Ms. Hammond was describing these flex arrangements, and I know for some people that, you might not understand what that means. If you're just a new audience coming in, so essentially most arrangements, there's parts for violin and flute and clarinet and percussion. These flex arrangements allow just that flexibility to be able to say, okay, we need everybody that's going to play part 1 to cover this part, and part 2 to cover this part. And it's worked out really well because back in those dark days of you never knew what kids were going to come in on any given day, and we had parts ready, and every part was covered. One of the things that isn't always available, and you never know, is you're never quite sure how many percussionists you're going to need. So one of the fun things for me as a co-director this year is I've been getting to play percussion. So you're going to see me back there. I'm not taking a spot from the student, I promise. All I'm doing is just helping back here and making sure all the parts are covered with these extraordinary kids that are back there playing. So I just want to again thank my colleagues for all their exceptional work and thank our administration. And again, without you as parents supporting this program and in this district and all the wonderful things that Arlington, the music and the DNA of the district. It's really extraordinary. So would you please give yourselves and your wonderful kids a round of applause, please? So it looks like we're pretty close. I'm going to go take my position. I still song? Oh, I see. So we're killing time. I will not tell any jokes. Because you'd all leave if I started telling jokes. I would also like to give a shout out to a good friend of mine who's also done an extraordinary job in her job this year as the K through 8 music department coordinator. She has been, no pun intended, instrumental. We've worked together on so many different things and so many different challenges, all trying to make sure we meet the needs of our teachers and meet the needs of our students. Please, round of applause for Ms. Christina Rizzo. So just sit tight, we'll be with you in a few minutes. Thank you so much for your patience. Enjoy the air conditioning. Thank you.
Keep making noise, keep making noise, stay fine.
Hi, I'm still Ms. Hammond. And this is Symphonia. We are 10th through 12th grade orchestra, and we are a symphonic orchestra, meaning our band members have joined us. And that was the first time that some of our remote-only students have played with us, and they've done such great work at home. So they bring it on in and play it well. I'm really proud of everybody making that work so well. So it's been an absolute joy working with this orchestra. I know everybody said that. It's actually really true. From the beginning on, when we were all in little squares on the Google Meet, and yeah, I'm out of breath again, sorry. It's part of the mask, it really is. So, you know, again, we had all the teachers when it was just spring days. My two other colleagues and myself worked online, and we separated them to different weeks so we could really give intensive instruction. And then on band days, Mr. Gillen would join. Now that we've been in the building, we're doing obviously a lot more of just actual rehearsing, which has been really nice to do. But I feel like all that we did at the beginning of the year was really helpful, not a waste. I know it's possibly even a silver lining because a lot of students got more individualized attention on their instrument played at home every day. Because I know back in the day before COVID, you know, not everybody was practicing 5 days a week. It was probably more like 4. So now they were doing 5 because it was online and we were coaching them through it. So anyway, I've been really excited about the progress, and I feel like we really hear it in the room for all the orchestras. Now comes a really bittersweet moment for me, and I feel like I need my Chromebook to really tell you about the bittersweet moment. This is to acknowledge our seniors, one second. While I'm stalling, we do have some remote students who are not able to join us, playing with us via the Chromebook. So they've been in their squares performing with us, which is really cool. There it is. Oops. So we have 15 seniors in Symphonia, and I'm so proud of them and just like happy that they stuck it out with me for 4 years. And we have one percussion senior, so it's been his first year, but he stuck it out all year with me, and it's really been a pleasure to work with them. We're gonna have them stand. See, and I'm sorry I'm not more organized with this. Just going from having to be in Freedom Park to here, a lot had to happen, and so organization wasn't all there. But a lot of them filled out their exit ticket for me. I'm gonna do my best to go through that. And some of our remote students will acknowledge them. I wasn't able to get all of their information, but I'd like to acknowledge Alan Augustin. He is remote, but he is graduating and going on to bigger and better things. Let's give Alan a round of applause. Yeah. On stage with us today, we have Alexa Bernal. Alexa started her cello studies with Mr. Camiola. She then went on to her middle school studies at Unionville with Mrs. Rizzo, and she will be attending Marist College with a major in biology. Let's give Alexa a round. And let's see, we have another senior here with us. I don't have all our info down, but we'll just wing it. We have Madison Bishop. Please give a round of applause for Madison. All right. And where did you go? So I've got the info of where she's going. She's going to be going to Dutchess and studying nursing. So let's give a round of applause for Madison. Yes. Okay, next we have Haley Cummings. Haley started off with Ms. Regan, and she went through LMS with Mrs. Hanman. That's my sister-in-law, Mrs. Hanman. And she will be attending Salve Regina University. Is that right? All right, awesome. Next year, let's give a round of applause to Haley. Justin Harris is our next student. He is a remote student. He started his studies with Mr. Camiola. He's a violist. Then went to study with Mrs. Taravella and Mrs. Hammond at LMS. And he will begin studying early childhood education next year. Go, Justin. Round of applause. And next we have Coy Jackson over there in the viola section. And stand on up for wait. Coy started his study with Mrs. Sullivan and then went on to study with Mrs. Rizzo. And he will be attending Dutchess Community College, and he will be studying exercise science and wellness, and then plans to transfer to a four-year college. Let's give it up for Coy. Next, we have Blasi Kara Thomas, violinist. Blasi started his studies with Mr. Camiola, and then went on to study with Mrs. Rizzo, and he will be attending College for Film, Video, and Communication. So let's give a round of applause for Blasi. All right, next we have another violist, Grace McLeod. Have a stand. Started her studies with Ms. Regan at Knoxon, and she went to UPMS with Mrs. Rizzo. She will be attending SUNY Oswego, majoring in broadcasting. Yeah. Okay. Next we have Julia Myhands, violist. And there she is. All right. Her studies are mainly been with Mrs. Taravella, and she will be going to the College for Environmental Science next year. So give a round of applause to Julia. Hold on. Sorry, started out with Mr. Camiola. I'm getting it all now. And yeah, environmental science. Got it. Great. Sorry. Next we have Rachel Parker, cellist. Rachel started her studies with Mr. Camiola, went on to Mrs. Hammond at LMS, and will be going to Dutchess Community College, majoring in psychology. A round of applause for Rachel. And then we have violinist Estefan Robinson. Right over there. Nice. Started off with Mrs. Taravella and then went on to study with Mrs. Hammond at LMS. And he will be going to DCC for computer science. All right, Estefan. Next we have Lucia Rodriguez. Lucia Rodriguez, cellist, over there. Nice. Started her studies with Ms. Regan, went on to study with Mrs. Rizzo, and she will be attending Sacred Heart University with undecided major in the College of Arts and Sciences. And next we have Regina Roman Ramirez, right there. Started off with Ms. Regan, went on to Ms. Matina, and will be attending DCC for 2 years and transferring to a four-year college, majoring in communication, media and communication. So give a round of applause for Regina. All right. Chris, you're gonna have to shout for me. We've got Chris Fleischer on the timpani, senior. All right, shout it out. Who'd you start with?
I started with
Miss Howard, then? Miss Chung? And where are you going next year? What are you doing next year? All right, Sacred Heart Environmental Science. Okay, and last but not least, we have Gabriella Stewartson, violin. Gabriella started off her studies with Camiola, went on to study with Mrs. Taravella and Mrs. Hammond at LMS, and she will be attending Stony Brook University for engineering. So all of these seniors will be receiving certificates. They're beautiful, and they were prepared by the ASOA, which is the Parent Booster Group for Orchestras, and they are out in the lobby, by the way, selling merch, orchestra merch, spirit wear. So I highly recommend stopping by and grabbing yourself a cool T-shirt, sweatpants. That's my pitch. And so we will be giving them to the students, and they're in a beautiful little case. You can, of course, frame them, keep them in a little case. And then I have 2 awards to announce, of which the students will receive a $350 check to go toward, probably their books, right? For college expenses next year. So we have 2 awards. One is a peer voted on award. So that is voted on by peers, students, and the other is the Director's Award. Both awards really show a student that gives a lot to orchestra, really shows up with a positive attitude, gets the job done, diligent about coming to lessons. And so we'll do the peer award first. And the students have voted, and the winner is for the peer award is Rachel Parker. And also the check from the ASOA. Then the Director's Award, voted on by me, the director, goes to a student that really from freshman year went way above and beyond in so many ways. Sometimes just coming down during lunch and organizing music for me because I'm overwhelmed and disorganized, as you were witnessing, and really helped me out with that. Always very positive, loves music. Plays very well, comes to lessons, and just really positively contributes energetically to the orchestra for all 4 years. And this award, the Director's Award, also with a $350 check, goes to Grace McLeod. So she'll get a certificate and the check also. Backstage. So, my goodness, I'm so sorry to take so long, but it is important to honor our seniors. They have meant so much to us. And especially, at this time, we didn't really get to do a concert at the end of last year, and really so grateful that we have the opportunity to perform together, seniors, you and I, and with everybody else. Your leadership will be missed next year, but of course, we've got juniors ready to step up and fill the places. But hope you'll stay in touch. And really all good luck with everything you do. I will miss you. It's very bittersweet this moment. We've got 15 beautiful souls ready to go on into the big, big world. Let's give them a round of applause. Stand up. Stand up. So our final piece for you is one of my absolute favorites and many of the students' favorites. I say that about a lot of music because I just love music, but I really love this one. It's melodies and themes from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and helping us out on percussion drum set is Mr. Gillen. So that's awesome, along with our fabulous percussion section that we already had. Please join me in enjoying Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, switcheroo. Any seating, switcheroo? Anybody else?
Thanks, everybody. You can now go things back. We're going to bring the symphony up. And I think we are a little bit late, so I apologize, everyone. And you'll soon be enjoying symphony. Go ahead, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. At this time, we're going to ask that if you are a Symphonia family, that we ask you to politely to vacate your premises so we can allow room for our symphony parents to come in. We can maintain some good social distancing and make sure we're not passing. Thank you all so very much for coming. We made the right call, by the way, with that weather going on out there. So, thank you so much.
Okay, this is gonna need. I don't know. But aren't 39 minutes. Okay.
All right, thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. The group you see on the stage right now is the Symphony Orchestra. My name is Mr. Gillen. I'm the assistant director to this group under Mr. Hanman, the head director of this group. And I'll let Mr. Hanman expand a little bit more on some of the things we've done this year, but it has been an extraordinary, to say the very least, experience with everything we've worked on this year, putting this group together from the beginning of the year through everything we've been through till now. So it's really been a great journey. We've got a really fun program prepared for you, and we really hope you enjoy it. Mr. Hammond, anything you'd like to add before we begin?
Momentarily, yes.
Okay. So the way, and I know since we had an audience clear out, we had an audience come in, so just a brief description. So the upperclassmen orchestras are all full orchestras with wind and percussion players playing along with string players. Those band students have orchestra every other day, so they're, in addition to their band class, they are rehearsing with the full orchestra every other day, with the string players who are rehearsing every day, obviously. And up until the beginning of the fourth quarter, we were smaller groups and putting things together, and then once we knew we were going to have a fuller grouping, we were able to start planning for things like this, which was very exciting. And we've been talking all night about the concept of these flex arrangements. Normally when you're doing a piece for full orchestra, all the parts are very specific, like a first flute part, a second violin part, etc. And these flex arrangements have allowed us the opportunity to have just that, the flexibility to say, okay, all of these high voices are going to play part one, and the next lowest voices are going to play part two, etc., all the way down to part five. So these arrangers have done these amazing jobs of taking these pieces that would normally be difficult to play under these very varied circumstances and have allowed us to, whether there's 5 kids in the room or whether there's 50 in the room, to have kind of all the parts covered so we kind of are able to put a piece of music together. It's been really terrific. And so these pieces we're going to play for you tonight are all these flex arrangements that have allowed us to make sure that the students can still have a quality musical experience. You know, for instance, if we were missing an instrument of one kind, that voice would not be covered in the orchestra, but these arrangements have allowed us the opportunity to be able to do that. And we've never used them before, and now we're going to use them a lot more in the future because they've just worked out so well and we've learned so much from doing them. So thank you so much for coming. If you heard that sound outside earlier, I definitely think we made the right choice in doing what we did tonight. So again, thank you, and I'm going to hand the mic over to my good friend and colleague, Mr. John Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. What he doesn't know is I had an entire monologue prepared about the flex arrangements, but I'm gonna not go into it. No, so I'm just gonna, we're gonna get started. Just a couple things we're gonna be doing in the middle of our performance. We have 3 pieces for you, but we will start off by having the orchestra get tuned, and we'll bring out our concertmaster, Sarah Gates.
Oh.
Welcome, everyone. We're happy you could join us. We are going to be starting off, this is Symphony Orchestra, we're going to be starting off with Emperito Roca. It's a Spanish-style march. We've had a really great time with it, and we hope you enjoy it. just to give our percussion a chance to get set up for our next piece. The next piece is Jupiter from the Planet by Gustav Holst. Holst was an amazing composer for many reasons. One of the things he did was write the first official concert band or wind ensemble piece, his first suite in E flat. But he was also an amazing orchestral composer. We're going to be playing, as Mr. Gillen said, a flex version of Jupiter from the Planets, which again is arguably his most famous work, certainly in the orchestra world. But the amazing thing about this version is that it really captures the essence of what this work is about. And Mr. Gill and I have sat and just kind of marveled at the growth and the progress that the students have made from the moment we started this, which was somewhere in the February, March area, to where it is now. So we hope you enjoy this. It's Jupiter from Holst's Planets. Okay, so it's time to recognize some seniors. Before we do though, I just want to say, we have, I believe, 12 students on the stage that have never actually in person rehearsed this with the group. This was their first time playing it with the live cohort. They've been playing online, and I just have to say, the way they all just stepped in and enhanced things was truly remarkable. Let's hear it for all of our. We've learned so much this year, and I think, you know, there was a time, an extended time, when everything was online, and as you can all imagine, and you probably all have thought about, teaching a performance ensemble online, its primary challenge, and it really kind of starts and ends there in some ways, is the fact that you can really only hear one voice at a time, and you're teaching 65 students, and only one voice can make sound and have that make sense. You can't just all play together and all hear each other. It just doesn't work. So the shift that occurred once we started having some live cohorts, and we worked with our students online to get comfortable playing into the live sound. That was a big shift. It took place, you know, January, February, March, and then when we went to having all the students that were coming in come every day, it was another shift. It's been a year like no other. No college course prepared any music teacher for this experience. But I have to say the way the students have shown the discipline, the character, the perseverance, and the will to continue to grow and develop on their instruments, and to continue to want to be a part of something as special as this. It's just been, I've been in awe of their perseverance and will. So let's give them a nice round of applause. I particularly want to single out, as I'm about to do, in a manner where we're going to recognize them. I want to single out the senior class, because I'll tell you, last year's senior class got a lot of attention for what they lost, and they lost a lot, right? They lost the end of their high school years, their youth, really, in many ways. This year's senior class lost that part of their junior year and so much of their senior year. Some still aren't coming into school and seeing others and communicating and just being social in what we, I mean, normal, we could spend all night defining normal, but what was before COVID, and we'll just call that normal for now. They've lost so much, but again, the perseverance and strength and will that they've shown, and now it's like, as we continue to see more and more of them, they're coming in and they're just like, hey, how's it going? As if they haven't been through anything. And I just admire that so much. So seniors, hats off to all of you. Let's recognize each of the seniors in this group. So I'm gonna have you stand. They will all be receiving really beautiful certificates from the ASOA. I'm gonna have them stand right now, though, just because of spacing and distancing. It's just not gonna work for us to give them out tonight. You will be getting these either in school, or if you are not coming into school and you're here tonight, we can give it to you tonight as well. So come up to get it if you are in the green cohort, seniors, okay? All right, so please make sure you stand up, or if you're already standing up, wave so we recognize you. Our first senior is Eva Cassidy, and she began her music career with we're gonna recognize the music teachers they've had throughout their time in Arlington. So she started with Mr. Camiola and then had Ms. Taravella and Mrs. Handman. She is going to be attending Boston College and studying chemistry. Let's give her one more round of applause. This next student began her career with Mrs. Howard and then moved on to middle school with Ms. Chong, and she will be attending Dutchess Community College for an English language arts major. This is Tara Fitch. She began with Mr. Camiola and then went to have Mrs. Hammond and Ms. Taravella, and she will be attending Cornell University with a major in physics. Let's hear it for Sarah Gates. Coming to us from a place where there was no middle school band, or elementary for that matter, is our next student, and she will be attending Dartmouth College with an undecided major, and this is Sofia Gonzalez. Beginning his music career with Mrs. Hughes and then moving on to Mr. Fallis is the student that's going to be attending SUNY Polytechnic Institute with a computer engineering technology major, and this is Chris Mylod. Going a little out of alphabetical order here. Beginning his career with Ms. Onikian and then going on to have Mr. Tiskowitz, Mr. Silas, and Mr. Fallis. He will be attending the University of Delaware with a music major, Chris Riley. Beginning her career with Ms. Sullivan and then moving on to Mrs. Rizzo. She will be attending SUNY Binghamton with a pre-med major. Let's hear it for Rachel Doyle. Beginning with Ms. Mangiamelli and then moving on to have Ms. Chong. Attending Arizona State with a major in astrophysics is Noah McLeod. Beginning with Mr. Candiola, moving on to Mrs. Hanman, and then she's going to be attending Binghamton University with a biochemistry major. This is Kadi Aguilamba. Beginning with Mrs. Howard, moving on to Ms. Chong, and going to be attending the Crane School of Music with a music education major, Kayla Outman. Beginning with Ms. Howard, moving on to Ms. Chong. I have a feeling these two must know each other, and several went to have this track. He will be attending Dutchess Community College with a major in exercise science and wellness, Thomas Scarabello. Beginning with Mrs. Sullivan, moving on to Mrs. Rizzo. and going to St. John Fisher College to study nursing and will be playing field hockey is Taylor Serrata. Beginning with Mr. Camiola, moving on to have Ms. Tarabella and Mrs. Hinman. Going to Dutchess Community College with an art major is Arthrise Sanico. Attending, well, let me go back. Okay, let's go here. Yes. Beginning her career with Mr. Camiola, and then moving on to Ms. Tarabella, and then Mrs. Hanman, will be attending Sacred Heart University with a major in exercise science, Mariah Stewart. Beginning with Mrs. Sullivan, moving on to Mrs. Rizzo, and attending Fairfield University with a major in nursing, Sarah Rendling. Beginning with Ms. Howard, moving on to Ms. Chong, and attending the College University of Scranton with a major in kinesiology and physical therapy, Emily Filacek. All right. Beginning his career in Marlborough schools with Mr. Boyd, moving on to Ms. Chong, and will be attending Crane School of Music with a music business major, Zach Sawyer. All right. Seniors, can I have you all, oh, yeah, no, I got everyone, yes? Just making sure. It's been every day we get a new group out here. Okay, we're good. So, seniors, thank you so much for making it through this year and last year, and for being here and being such an important part of what this group is about and what Arlington music is about. It's been amazing to watch you all grow and develop, and we just wish you the absolute best as you move on to the next phase of your lives. And please come back and say hello. Seniors, can you stand up and let's give them another round of applause. All right, and just 2 awards, and then we're going to play our last piece for you. So, every year in Symphony, there is an award that's voted on by the students, the Peer Orchestra Award, and then there's a Director's Award, and that is pretty self-explanatory. So, this year, in Symphony, the Director's Award goes to Mariah Stewart. And the Peer Orchestra Award goes to Sarah Gates. So, there you go. Just so there you go. Here's for Sarah. So again, all awards and certificates can be, if you're coming into school, we'll give them to you at school, and if you are here just for the night, please check in with us and we will give it to you tonight. All right, we are very excited. Mr. Gill and I spent quite a while coming up with this final piece to play for you. It's too much fun. When it's beautiful, it's incredibly beautiful. When it rocks out, it really goes to town. I mean, this is just a really enjoyable, fun way to end our year in symphony. This is music from The Lion King. Thank you all so much. It's just fun to listen to live music again and to be a part of the performing side to things as well. So we have one more transition, so thank you all so much for coming out. We have to get another group in here, so we're gonna just give us a couple minutes for the transition, and to those of you going home, have a safe drive home, and to those of you sticking around, we'll see you for our next group. Thank you all.
Thank you all very much. At this time, we're going to ask if you're a symphony family. We ask you if you can clear the hall so we can bring in our Philharmonia families. Make sure we have enough space for those folks. Okay. We really appreciate you coming out and supporting your kids and supporting our program. So thank you all so very, very much.
Wait for minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I know we keep shuffling in the audiences, so I just wanted to say a few words. My name is Mr. Gillen. I'm the music department coordinator here, also direct some of the bands and orchestras. And I want to thank you all for coming, especially if this is your first concert maybe of the year. But I want to thank you all for coming and just say what a thrill it is to have live music back in Arlington. We had our band concert at Freedom Park last night, and we were supposed to have our orchestra concert at Freedom Park tonight, and I think we made the right call. I want to thank Mr. Orcutt for his support, his guidance, and actually suggesting that we have it here under some of the new guidelines that we're able to do here with shifting the audience. You know, normally we're like, everybody please stay for the whole concert. Now it's like, get out. It's awful. You know, because by the end of the night it'll be packed and it will be awesome, and we'll get there. But we're just thrilled to be able to do this. And I just want to say a few words. I want to thank both of our booster organizations, the Arlington Symphony Orchestra Association, who's got a table out in the hallway for their support, and for the Arlington Band Boosters for all the incredible things they've done for our students in the program. Can we have a big round of applause for those folks, please? So we thank our incredible administration in the district, Dr. Copley, who officially had his last day with us today. A little bittersweet, but the guy's been retired like 6 times, so I think he's good to go now, and we've been very fortunate to have his guidance. And also welcome our new executive principal, who has been extraordinary this year, especially under some extraordinary circumstances, Mr. John Orcutt. Thank you, Mr. Orcutt, for your wonderful leadership. The amount of hard work and collaboration that's gone on this year for our music department to be able to provide opportunities for our kids has kind of been remarkable, and that's kind of like an every year thing, but this year has kind of been extra remarkable just because of the amount of team teaching and how much we've relied on one another, and especially my orchestra colleagues who have just, it's just been extraordinary watching them work on a day-to-day basis, and my band colleagues teaming up and working with the remote students to make sure they're taken care of, and working with the in-person students, and then when you put them all together, it's just been amazing. And there were some pretty tough times early in the year, and next thing you know, we have 4 orchestras on stage making music, and it's just been amazing. So I just want to thank my colleagues for making this long and tiring and frustrating and stressful journey a little bit less all of that, because they are incredible to work with, and it's my honor and privilege to be a part of that. So I want to thank them very, very much. And I'm not going to steal too many of Mr. Hammond's words, because I know what he's going to say about these amazing students and how resilient they are. Mr. Keach said something last night at the park that I think we all agree with. Like, they're way more resilient than we are. And they may not think so, but what they have been through and what they've now become, it's just really, to watch that happen has just been amazing. So I want to thank them for their patience, because they've watched us kind of try to manically manage this whole thing, and they've been so patient with us, and we in turn have encouraged their growth, and I hope they've enjoyed the journey. If you can enjoy the kind of journey we've been on as much as you could, and everything we've been through. So thank them. I'm going to let Mr. Hammond take it from here. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed Philharmonia. Thank you.
very quickly, I just have to say this. I passed this piece out and I said, beef, it's what's for dinner. And they were like, what? But I know that you feel differently. Before that commercial, early 90s, this was a piece written by Aaron Copland. He took a fiddle song from the 1800s, and he, actually a couple of them, and he created an orchestral work based on these fiddle tunes. And it's part of a larger work, Rodeo, but this is Hoedown, the opening to that ballet and that work from one of the most definitive and exceptional American composers, Aaron Copland. It's a fun way to start a program. The next piece I'm going to play for you is written by Dvorak, and it's the last movement of his New World Symphony. And New World, of course, refers to the United States of America. And it's quite a fascinating story how this work came to be. And the students and I have been talking about it a good amount, and some of them could stand up here and deliver this speech as well or better than I can. Right? Anyone want to try? Well, they're not running up here, but so the 1893, Dvorak was given an offer he couldn't refuse to come to the United States by Jeanette Thurber, who was a very wealthy woman in New York City who created this national conservatory. And the mission of this conservatory was to give opportunity to anyone and money couldn't get in the way. And she was equal opportunity on every level, gender, race, etc. And remember, this is 1893. So in many ways, way ahead of her time. And so Dvorak was tasked with creating an American classical sound. So he learned pretty quickly, he got an idea in his head based on his experiences in this country, how to go about helping cultivate that. And one of the ways he did this was he'd be working late in his conservatory, and there was a student in the conservatory who was on what we call a work-study program now. He was cleaning the building at night, and he was singing African American spirituals. And Dvorak heard his singing, loved his voice, and he's like, what's going on in here? What are these songs? And they became friends. And then Dvorak developed his theory about what is the American sound, and he's like, it should be based on African American and Native American spirituals and songs. And so he wrote this New World Symphony kind of in the midst of all these discoveries he was going through. And you can hear he disguises them somewhat. You're not going to be hearing the hummable songs that but he's incorporated several of them into this symphony. And you hear, this is a fusion between the American sound and a regular kind of European late 19th century classical orchestral sound. And it's brilliant. It's one of probably the top 5 symphonies in terms of just the amount it's listened to and the amount it's performed, and just in how great a work it is. And we're going to play the last movement of it for you. This is his 9th symphony, the New World Symphony. So as many of you know, in a few weeks, we're going to have a concerto concert, and you will be hearing these works again on that concert. Tonight, the senior recognition is going to be very short. We're going to say their names. They're going to stand up, and we can applaud for each one. There will be a more extensive senior recognition at our concerto concert, which is, I believe 1 day less than 3 weeks from tonight. So the seniors, I'm going to list you in alphabetical order. If you're standing already, make sure you wave so we know where you are and who you are. First, Dylan Ackley. Massimo Alicia. Tyler Altamari. Jocelyn Beeler. Gabriella Bleakley. Chris Bryady. Lily DeCina. Casey DeJesus Webb. Bailey Forrest. Emma Fusco. Annalise Hirschbaum. Amanda Jacobs. Declan Jimmick. Catherine Johnston. Sam Lau. Anna McKiernan. Gianna Morales. Jonah O'Hearn. Megan Palestro. Josh Park. Zach Sawyer. Mariah Stewart. Jasmine Sullivan. Elena Hungarian. And Cece Wendling. Okay, we have some awards to give out, and so every senior is going to receive a really beautiful certificate prepared by the ASOA, and every award winner is going to receive a certificate and a check prepared by the ASOA. If you are only here tonight, we can give you your certificate tonight. Seniors, the rest of you that are coming in each day, we'll give them to you tomorrow or the next day, depending on when we see you next. So just keep that in mind. The awards. So in Philharmonia, we have 3 awards that we give out. One is to a band member in Philharmonia, and one is called the Director's Award, which I give out to a string player, and one is called the Peer Recognition Award, and that's as it sounds. Both the band award and the Peer Recognition Award for the string players is voted upon by the members of the orchestra. So let's start with the band member award, and again, we'll